Welcome to our channel. We're Daires and Akilah Grant of DIY Power Couple.
And we are so excited to show you another DIY project that you can do with peel and stick vinyl flooring and Minwax wood stain.
Home improvement
with love.
In this video, we're going to share our DIY peel and stick stair makeover for under $100.
Stay to the end to see a cost estimate for this home improvement project. Thank you to Minwax and Purdy Brushes for providing the stain supplies.
If you'd like to see how we prepared the wood for this makeover, check out our stair prep video by clicking the link in the description below. Now let's review the parts of the stairs.
The stringer is the support side of the staircase. And then there's the tread, which is often the focal point of stair makeovers and the part you step on. The riser is the vertical part that can be painted or refaced. For this stain and stick makeover, we worked with all three parts of this basement staircase. We needed to pick out our stain, so we chose the Minwax semi-transparent oil stain in the color Espresso. Ooh, this is nice.
We were surprised at the consistency. It was smooth and watery, not thick like paint.
Because of its lightness, we tried out a staining pad to apply. This darker espresso color worked out so well because we were staining the treads as well as the stringer. If you choose to paint your stringers, you'll still want to stain first.
The stringer wood had a different grain pattern than the tread. One thing we realized is that we had to apply the stain in the direction of the grain.
Follow us on Instagram at DIY Power Couple to see behind the scene pics.
This was our first time applying stain to stairs. To us, it was very different than painting. We had to be careful not to rub off too much because it would change the stain color.
We wanted to see the difference between applying stain with a brush versus a staining pad. For us, the brush worked great on stringers and corners. And the staining pad was easier for applying stain to the treads. We didn't have to worry about getting stain on the risers because we were going to be adding peel and stick vinyl tile. The stain was easy to spread across the wood, and we continued to rub it in to avoid streaks. We had to take our time for each step. You will need some patience to stain stairs.
After the first coat of stain dried, we noticed scratches and marks on one of the treads. This was a simple fix. We used our mouse sander with 120 grit sandpaper to sand it down. We sanded in the direction of the wood grain because sanding across the grain would create more scratches. Sometimes when you sand over oils, it will produce a gummy residue called corning. Having extra sanding pads will save you time and a trip to the home improvement store. Continuing to sand with corning on the pad can damage and leave streaks on the wood. A new pad will give you a smoother wood finish. After sanding, we used mineral spirits to clean the tread and stringer in preparation to restain the step.
We were relieved at how easily the stain touch-up blended with the first coat. You could no longer see the marks. Once it dried, we were ready to start on the risers.
You guys should know, we love using peel and stick in our DIY projects.
Peel and stick tile is a budget-friendly option to make over your stair risers, especially for beginner DIYers. We needed two 12 by 24 inch tiles to cover the length of the riser. One thing we learned is that these basement stairs were not all the same sizes. We measured the height and cut one tile down to size using a box cutter. The second tile was cut down and then cut again on the side to fit the remaining length of the riser. We learned to flip the tile over to mark and make the cut. This way the cut edge would be on the end. Once all the cuts were made, we peeled the backing and stuck the tile to the riser. Peel and stick tile is an affordable way to reface your risers and update the look of your staircase. The goal was to have the factory edge of each tile to meet in the middle.
So this is going to be our full tile for this step. And this is going to be the cut tile.
For the next step, we started a full tile on the right with a smaller tile on the left to have an alternating pattern on the stairs. When our cuts were slightly off, we used a sanding block to shave the top of the tile so it would fit under the tread.
We were surprised to see the directional arrows on the sticky side of the tile. They let you know which way to lay your tile on the floor. We didn't need to use these for sticking the tile on these risers. We just wanted to make sure the peel and stick tiles were sticking to the wood once we pressed them in. Their own adhesive worked well on this project, so we didn't add any more.
The middle seam would offset to the right or left on every other riser.
We decided to use pre-mixed grout instead of caulk to fill in gaps in the middle seam, along the bottom of the tread, and along the sides where the tile meets the stringer. We used a bucket of water and rag to wipe off the excess grout on the tile and stairs. You'll see the disaster that happened with that a little later in the video. Sometimes we filled in gaps under the nose of the tread, but you would have to be really looking hard to see that. This was our bad stair that gave us the most problems and caused us to recut tiles several times to get it aligned.
It took us a little while to get the hang of measuring each step and remembering which side to start the full tile. We worked together and finally got a rhythm going. My wife grouted while I stuck the tiles. This was our last piece to go and we were glad. It is a workout going up and down the stairs during a DIY project.
Now for the finishing touches. We were now ready to add another coat of stain when this happened. I tripped over the water bucket, causing grouty, dirty water to dump out all over the stairs. I felt so bad. Thankfully, we were able to get the water up quickly and let the stairs dry overnight.
After a second coat of espresso stain, the wood finish looked as good as new and was ready for a top coat. We went with an oil-based polyurethane from Minwax to give our stair treads a durable protective coat. The consistency was a little thicker than the stain and had an amber tint. We cleaned our brush and decided to use it to apply the polyurethane finish. We applied the finish along the grain of the wood just like the stain. This product was self-leveling and was easy to spread over the many crevices of the staircase. At first there were small bubbles in the coat, but they went away as it dried. The odor wasn't too strong because a fan blew in fresh air to keep the staircase well ventilated. We were very pleased with the vibrant shine it gave to our treads and how it brought out the beauty of the wood with just one coat.
As we coated each step, the amazing transformation of this basement staircase came to life.
Here's a look at the stair treads with and without the polyurethane finish.
Our first DIY stain and stick staircase makeover was a success. You can give your staircase a fresh new redo for under $100. Check out this cost breakdown.
And remember, you can DIY too. And we'll see you in the next video. DIY Power Couple YouTube channel is your source to help you unleash your inner DIY power.